Marcus, what's up,
What's
brother?
up?
What's going on, dude? How we doing?
I'm doing good.
Dude, thank you so much for taking the time today. Of course, man. This has been a minute in the making, and thank God we're here, my dude.
Yeah, I don't remember what the first time I reached out, or I think I did reach out. I
You know, it,
doubt,
it's
I don't remember. It's been so long.
it,
Yeah.
it's been a minute, man. We've been back and forth, and just I had kind of a hiatus, taking a break from doing interviews and different things, but jumping back on it, man, in the new year, and what a way to start, my man. We've been talking for it seems like years now. Shit,
Yeah,
just talk music and shows and your
movies.
work and and movies, yeah, for sure. No, yeah, like I say, thank you very much for taking the time today. Of course, so everybody, this is Marcus Shootnpointphotos. We got in connect, through here, through Instagram, and through your page and your work with shooting shows, and just immaculate work, my man. Just absolutely sick stuff, dude. It's
Thanks.
awesome.
I really appreciate that.
Now, as far as maybe even to start off, some recent interests of yours. What are a couple of recent purchases that you've picked up, my guy? May it be some
Ooh,
music or movies or some gear. What we got?
I've been collecting tapes. I actually have a stack right here with me.
There we go. Beautiful.
So I think the or the couple of recent ones I've collected is this band from Florida called Remote Control.
Oh,
They're pretty
okay.
good. Yeah, they're really good.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
The first time I saw them was in Atlanta. They played a festival down there,
Okay,
and ever since then, I just fell in love with the demo. And then
beautiful.
this other band called From One Hell. They're on the same label as my friends in Ozone, and I saw them in California.
Sick.
They're
Okay.
pretty good. They're pretty good.
Wow.
I don't. They're members from they're in a bigger band, but the members are. I don't know if this project is still active, but
Okay.
when I bought the tape, I was like, I gotta get this.
Okay. Sick.
Yeah,
Love that.
yeah. And then I got this Contention,
Hey,
another band from Florida.
beautiful.
They're really good as well. They just played FYA Fest over
Yeah, I
the
saw.
weekend,
Dude, some of the
and then
clips that they're putting up and some of the videos and shit, man, you're just like,
it's so crazy. I'm always up front shooting photos like at every show, and everybody's like,
uh-huh.
"You're always getting your ass kicked."
We'll get into that, brother.
And then the last two, I got this tape from this band called Prevention.
Oh yeah.
This,
Hell
this
yeah.
is really this is really good. I thought there'd be more songs on this. There's only two.
You're like, man, I thought
Yeah,
they said
it
this
was
was an
really
album, you rascals.
that was gonna be more. But last but not least, this band called Rejoice.
Oh, oh man. The babies, Ohio on top. Jesus H.
Yes, it was. I saw them in Atlanta as well. They were really good. I saw them three times. They
Sick.
played Atlanta, Flyover Fest. I forgot where else I saw them before, but
Man,
so
dude,
good.
that band rules. Yeah, they're so awesome. I haven't seen them live yet, but I've been following just their releases, and I've gotten to have conversations with a couple of fellas. And man, that band is so cool, dude. I love
Yeah,
that shit.
I just love their sound. It's so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, as far as kind of prefacing all of this other stuff, Marcus is a young man. I'm saying, bring us back to growing up and maybe some interests. Were you always Texas based? Were you running around as a rascal? What do we got going on, brother?
Uh, I was born in Georgia,
Okay.
raised in Texas. I've always lived in
Okay.
Texas, but totally back and forth between Arlington and Grand Prairie. But yeah,
Okay.
it's home.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
What about interest when you were growing up? Was music always a thing to you, or
Oh,
what?
yeah, music was always around. There hasn't been a moment where I'm not listening to anything. Like my parents, uh, they put me on the rap. It's the first thing I've ever listened to was
Hell
rap.
yeah.
Like I remember seeing you probably remember like they had like stacks like books of like CDs or you just flip. I don't know what they're
Yeah.
called.
Yeah. Like it was like the CD albums or like the what the fuck is the actual name of it? But I know it has the pages and you flip it
Yeah,
and
and you
it
just
holds the
flip through.
CDs,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
CD binder type thing. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I grew up
Lots
around.
of mixtapes, or was it shit that was
Yeah,
like the?
it was just random like Sharpie marker, like random mixtapes. Like you didn't know who the artist was. You just slap it in and hope it was good.
Nice. Okay. Sick. I mean, along with that, like other interests, did you grow up, playing instruments? I see, you have some photos and some things as far as, skateboarding. Any of that shit kind of go along hand in hand?
Ooh, skateboarding I was never good at.
Dude,
I always got hurt.
me either. High five.
Instruments. I've had a couple friends that are teaching me how to play instruments, but never got around to it. I was just like, I'll just stay behind the camera, document everything.
Nice. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as those influences, you mentioned your parents and coming up in school, did you have friends or other people that kind of expanded? Like, how did some other musical interests come to you?
Oh, like it was. Oh, I had a couple friends showed me some stuff. Like, uh, the first couple, I think my junior high year, I got into My Chemical Romance
Oh
and all
yeah.
the like basic emo stuff
Hmm.
that was popular around that time. Uh, and then not until high school is when I found out about thrash and punk rock and all that.
Sick.
Yeah,
It's
I
awesome.
I think the my first show ever was Power Trip in like 2016. Like I'm 24 years old, so
Damn.
I'm
Okay.
yeah. So like all this was like recent.
Yeah, no, I mean that's awesome, and I love that. I mean, I love the fact of obviously like there's old heads, there's cats that are just getting into it, there's cats that have been around for a little bit. I mean, fuck that.
Mm.
It's not anything about gatekeeping or any of that
Yeah,
shit. Like just being into it, and obviously, I mean, you got the passion and love. So, and speaking of power trip, I mean, like I never got to see them, so like that was like one of those things where it's just like I kind of shit the bed, and then all this, recently,
mm.
with like Seth, kind of being along with the ride and everything. Like it's pretty sick, man. Like what a hometown band to root for and
Yeah.
shit.
It's kind of it's crazy. Like I never thought he'd uh be the singer for Power Trip. Like, I'm always used to him being a Scourge
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Fugitive.
yeah. There was a couple of ideas, that I was kind of throwing around when they were on like a hiatus and a break and all that, and I kind of had wondered, but I was like, oh shit,
Yeah,
okay, like it
yeah,
makes sense. Like now that you hear it, you're like, oh yeah,
yeah.
okay, yeah, damn. No, that's sick. What about as far as music shops? Is anything local to you? Anything kind of special when you were coming up?
I mean, the record shops that I go to now are what I've always gone to, like CD Warehouse. That's a staple here in Arlington. Like if you're coming down, or I've had friends from different cities and different states. They're like, "Oh, like what do you recommend?" I just go to that place.
Okay.
Either
Okay.
CD Warehouse or Forever Young Records.
Oh,
That's
okay.
another. Those are two spots in Arlington that are pretty good.
Staples.
Yeah.
Okay. They both. I mean, they carry like underground type stuff too, or is
Oh
it?
yeah, like I found like a vinyl record years ago. It was a Power Trip Nightmare Logic exclusive. Like it had like an Executioner on the
Oh.
back of it. Yeah, I didn't even know because they sold out online,
Uh huh.
and I was telling myself I'm never gonna see that like in the wild, and then I found it and I was like I automatically gotta buy this.
Was it used? Like, do they like
Yeah,
buy
it was
shit too, or?
they get used stuff all the time.
Oof.
Yeah, so
Man,
whoever got rid of that got rid of a gem.
brother, you ain't lying. Jesus. They're like, oh, this isn't heavy enough.
Yeah,
Shame on you, you
yeah,
rascals, whoever sold that shit.
they
But hey,
missed
what a win
out.
for you.
Yeah, I still have it to this day.
Man, oh man, dude. And I mean, sometimes like you dig into some of like the used sections of like shops like that, and it's just like that's where the gold is. Like
Yeah.
myself with like movies and shit. That's always kind of been one of those things where it's like, all right, what kind of used things, and every once in a while, like maybe even like that Nightmare Logic, you're like, who the fuck sold this?
Yeah, or
Like
like
who? Where is this dude
there was this
or lady?
there was this one time where I was looking through a movie store and I just found Shogun Assassin in the wild. Yeah,
Whoa, no shit.
yeah, it was like it was two original DVDs just sitting there, and I'm like, how come nobody's bought this? Like, I scooped those up.
Damn, no kidding. You got
Yeah.
what type of like movie shops you guys have around there?
Uh, there's only one. I mean, sometimes you got your Walmarts, your Best Buys,
Sure.
whatever. But we used to have this place called Entertain Mart, but it went out of business because physical media is going away.
Mm, damn.
But there's still one store left, and it's called Movie Training Company.
Oh,
And
okay.
whenever new movies go on DVD, that's automatically where I go.
Oh no, no shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. Dude, that's sick. I mean, like, it's kind of one of those things because I know that Texas is like a big. There's a big. I'm trying to think of what city, but there's like a big film community there, right?
Yeah. I
Um,
think it's mostly Austin.
Austin. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. I don't know why the fuck I'm blanking on that, but yeah, no, because I've had different friends and different people I've connected with on here that are all like, they kind of mention that, and they kind of mention, like Austin and the Texas area. I'm just like, Jesus, there's like a lot of shit going on there as far as film
Yeah,
wise.
it's true.
Is there like bigger theaters or like well, did you have like video rentals kind of when you were like
Oh,
when you were younger at
yeah.
all or
We used to have Blockbuster when it was still
dude,
around.
beautiful,
I know.
beautiful.
Yeah. I don't remember when they took those away. I don't exactly what year, but
Yeah.
I remember getting video games and getting movies from there.
What games were some of the gems that you picked up
Uh,
on?
oh, can't remember exactly because I wasn't the one buying them. It was mostly
Oh yeah, okay.
like cousins or something. Like I just go along with them.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I feel like the BMX and the skate games were always like so simple, but it was something that was just like fun enough, where like with friends and shit that you could kind of get together and do something. And they always had cool music, kind of discovering some different shit on there.
That's true. Or like I think one game I remember because I still play it to this day. The Warriors. I remember it was a movie first and then it was a video game.
Oh, they had a game based on it. Was it based on the movie?
Yeah, it was based on the movie.
Oh no shit.
Yeah,
What
it's like
console was that?
PS2. It was like a prequel to the movie.
No shit.
Yeah,
Man, I don't remember
it's
that.
it was like a brawler. It was a pretty fun
Damn.
game.
Damn, no shit, dude. I'm like thinking of like PS2, and do you remember the game Manhunt?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because a band recently just ripped the Manhunt box logo and stuff from
Okay,
the art.
so maybe that's what I'm thinking because I thought that I saw something that like somebody used like maybe like a poster flyer or something. I was like, God, that's hard,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
That game was
yeah.
insane.
I heard it was like super violent. People are like, it's impossible to get now.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? No shit.
like they're like overpriced, like on
Damn, no
eBay.
kidding. Wow, I wonder if they're ever going to do anything with that because it was like one of those things where I don't remember like the exact details of it, but basically, like I think maybe you're like a hitman or maybe a serial killer. I don't know, but you would
Mhm.
have to like go up and stalk on people and then like strangle them and shit. And it was, I mean, it was insane, especially for like being probably the age that I was. Not,
Yeah,
like you're playing this and your mom walks in, and you're like, don't worry, I'm
yeah.
not a killer, I swear.
It's not what it looks like.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I wish I was watching porn or something instead. Jesus. What about as far as kind of digging more with music and those interests? What comes to mind as far as a few favorite records of yours and maybe all time?
All time, for sure. There's this record called Champions of Chaos by a band called Seed of Pain.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's I've listened to that so many times. I wish that I don't even know if that band's active anymore.
Yeah,
I
I
heard
would say it. Wow.
rumors. I heard rumors that they were supposed to play Texas, but
Oh man.
yeah, but I don't know anymore. Like I I got friends that know people, and
Yeah.
they're always like, oh, these people are coming, or these people fell through, and I'm like, man.
Damn.
So
Dude.
there's that record, Champions of Chaos.
Hmm.
What else? Old time. That's the one off the top of my head.
Sure. Okay.
Nightmare Logic was the reason why I got into power trips. I mean, I listened to that front to back.
Did you initially discover that record before seeing them, or was your like first experience seeing them?
Yeah, that record was because uh, I went to go see them.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
because
Getting
I
that
heard.
vinyl copy, I mean.
No, so I was in school like 2016. Uh, I heard some people talking about it. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna go catch Power Trip at like this club," and I was like, "Oh, that's not." I was like, "That's a cool name." I
Yeah.
was like, "Maybe I'll go check it out." But this is like before I got on the internet and started using Instagram and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I had to look around myself to see like, well, when are they playing again? And so I saw them on a flyer for this festival called So What Fest. And
Mm.
so
Mm-hmm.
and I seen they were playing early in the day, and I was like, well, I mean, I could go hang out all day and just watch them and leave, but it was a festival full of like different genres of music, so
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't like you had like your rappers, your emo stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you had power trip.
So
Yeah,
sick.
I
Did
saw.
you end up staying for the whole thing?
Yeah, I ended up staying for the whole thing, and well now it's the reason why I go to fest. It's like I want to experience the music. I don't want to just waste this amount of money just to see one band.
I mean, and what a cool, what a cool way. Like, I have kind of this weird thing. I was just talking with my friends yesterday about, like my buddies in my band, about like with Fest for some reason, it's something that doesn't fully like click with me. I love the idea and I do love them, but for some reason, like they just kind of, it's something about being like stuck there all day where I'm just like, oh, I think it's maybe even an age thing,
Mhm.
where now I'm just
Yeah,
like, I might want to be there for a couple hours, but like thinking of all day, I'm just like, fucking A. But every once in a while, we have Tied Down in Detroit.
there's
We
like
have some of the bigger,
back to back like
it's
bands that
insane.
you want to save for.
Yeah, and that's the thing, or like FYA,
Hmm.
and even like, fuck, what was it? Something recently that on Broken Wings played, like in Boston. That was just an insane lineup, Haywire and all that. And
Man, I forgot what that fest is
yeah,
called.
I can't fucking think of the name of it right now. Um, but yeah, I mean, just as far as like, there's some that you're just like, no, you're gonna have to suck it up today.
Yeah, but I mean, that's also the reason. Like, I want to go see new people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck on the same music.
Yep. Yep. I love, like mixed genres too, as far as like going to, a mixed bill and having something where maybe every once in a while that can get kind of shoddy, but
Yeah,
there's, times where you can get like a good rock band and a good, like kind of maybe like punky folk act and then a thrash band. You're like, oh shit, okay, like that's kind of, some of these other things are a little refreshing to not just
yeah,
hear the same headbang all fucking day long.
exactly.
What about merch items? Every once in a while we go and we see like weed grinders and lighters and different shit like that. What are some unique merch items that
Uh,
you've come across in your shows?
uh, there was a band. I don't know if they still sell them anymore. They used to sell brass knuckles.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a band called Force of Will. They're really they. I think that's like the most unique. Oh, there was another band called True Grit. They sold belt buckles too.
Oh
Yeah, so
damn,
you got brass knuckles and belt buckles going around.
dude. Are these Texas
Yeah,
bands?
they're Texas bands.
Brother,
Yeah,
fucking belt buckle.
yeah,
Come on, dude.
yeah.
How sick. God, that rules. I mean, is this like a big old bejeweled, like kind of describe this for us? What
So
are we looking at here?
so like the average like Texan belt buckle, like the ones you want to show off, like the ones they would wear at rodeos and stuff.
God, that
Yeah,
is so sick. How do you like? I guess maybe even local vendors. I'm like trying to think of how the fuck you would even get in contact
yeah,
with making something like that.
yeah. I mean, we have some people down here that'll like help out. Like no, everything's DIY.
Yeah, yeah, local business for sure.
Yeah,
Man, dude, that's so sick. I love that. Like you hop up every once in a while. I don't know necessarily if I would, slap on a belt
a belt
buckle, but at,
buckle.
at
Yeah,
least, something to have on the shelf with like your music or your your collection or records or whatnot. Like that's hard.
yeah. I think those are like the two like most random things I've ever seen be sold at a merch table.
Oh, dude.
Belt buckles and brass knuckles.
Now you mentioned that first show, as far as live music experience, and had you like, was that kind of the maybe unknowing dawning of underground music and kind of like discovering more local shows as well, bands that weren't on bigger bills?
Yeah, like so I think it was 2015, 2016 around that time. I would go to like it was like an era of SoundCloud rappers,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they would throw on like bands, and so I've saw Bitter End and Jesus Piece and a couple other people open up for these rappers, and I'm like, oh whoa, this is cool. It's like a mixed bill.
Yeah, dude. Jesus piece too. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was so random. It was the first time I saw Jesus Piece.
Was this like a fest type thing, or were they throwing on like shows just for specific artists? Like, how did that work?
So the artist Ghostman would throw on bands
Okay.
on his bills. Like when he was like first starting out, he would throw on bands. And
Damn, I guess I remember hearing about that shit. You're
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Wow.
So he's I think the first couple times he had Vane, FM, uh, Bitter End, Jesus Piece. But the only shows I've seen were Jesus Piece and Bitter End.
Oh, dude. You mentioned Vane. What the fuck happened to them?
Oh, I have no idea. I know some of the members are in that band Fleshwater.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, and
Yeah.
maybe that's what it is. Now that you're saying that, because they're like doing like a partial tour or something with Deftones, and
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Okay, you just mentioned that, and I'm like, wait, what happened to
Yeah.
Vane? Like,
Yeah. That's what I've been wondering too. Like they released what, two
yeah,
albums? I
yeah,
want to say.
yeah, absolutely popped off. They put this is hardcore. Like, had all the kids in their jackets and shit. Like, insane. Yeah, I'm just thinking about that because I'm like, man, that's like kind of one of those bands that was really hard and kind of pressing it in your face, with
The
putting out
music,
stuff and
yeah.
being there, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what? Where'd they go?
Yeah, like they just disappear.
Now, as far as like local venues to you, from kind of having that bigger like concert experience, what type of spots come to mind as far as discovering local underground music to you,
Local underground. Ooh.
or do you
Uh,
hit up some spots that were like basement shows or random, VFWs, anything like that?
I've gone to like so many random house shows.
Yeah.
It's like it's either like one of the band members' house or somebody that used to be part of the scene, but they don't really come around anymore. But they want to throw shows.
Okay.
We
Okay.
had like we've had a couple spots like that. There was
Yeah.
this one cool spot called the Shop that it was so dope. It had like graffiti everywhere. Uh, you could chill. It was kind of like there was no air conditioning, no nothing. But when it was really cold and you had the room packed, it got really hot.
Nice. Nice. Barely electricity, but hey, we're working with it.
Yeah,
I love
so
it.
that's a place I miss. That's not around it. Well, I don't want to say around anymore, but apparently people are like, no, like it'll come back one day.
Damn.
Yeah,
What a bummer. I mean, especially having nicer like spots like that aren't, something huge or that, are kind of feel like it's the scenes, type thing. It's a bummer to lose those things.
yeah. They've filmed music videos there a couple of times.
What was this place called again?
The Shop.
Shop. Okay.
It's like near Dallas, but
Hmm.
that place was cool. What else? I don't know. We've had like a lot of places come and go.
It's a that's a sad mark for underground music,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Dude, that's so sick. I mean, as far as like, excuse me, as far as photography,
Mhm.
so we have music, we have this interest, we have, you kind of mentioned as far as, getting into some instruments and some things. You're like, it's not quite my thing, but how does photography get, introduced to you? Where does that come into play?
Uh, so I don't know. It was just random. I picked it up randomly.
Oh,
So
really? Okay.
yeah, because I all throughout high school I watched my friends take photography classes, and try to show me around a camera here and there.
Mm.
But eventually, like COVID hit, and I'm like, well, I was like, what am I gonna do, like with my free time now that everything's shut down? So I was just roaming around, looking through my looking through like old family photos and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I mean, my parents took photos, like maybe I can recreate whatever they got going on.
Okay.
But they were mostly shooting like family stuff, and I wanted to shoot more shows and document stuff,
Okay.
and so like the first camera I bought was a Polaroid.
Oh, like a old school one that you
Yeah,
was it? Okay,
yeah,
no shit. Damn. I
yeah.
know I
So
saw because like earlier posts that you had on here, I saw that there was different things that you had, kind of like a retaken image of like an older Polaroid or like some like family photos and things like that. So okay, that's interesting.
yeah,
And
so
then
I would
go ahead,
shoot
sorry.
I would shoot Polaroids like whenever bands came through, and I'd give them away, or like I'd scan them first and give them away
Mm.
because I've had like a couple people like offer to buy them, and I'm like, no, dude, you can just have them. They're pictures of you. Why would I sell pictures of you?
Then you look back and you're like, "Fuck! How am I
Yeah,
gonna get gas for the show?"
yeah. I was like, what? Like I wish I still had those photos.
Damn it! Oh, so. I mean, like, how does that evolve? Like, what was the first show that you ended up shooting then?
Uh, it was a house show for a friend. For some, it was so random. I just showed up to a house show that I saw a flyer for a band that I really liked back in high school, and so
Mm.
I showed up to the show by myself, and I've have I'm always a nervous person when I go to places by myself. But it was after the pandemic, so I had a mask and everything, and I was like, oh, I don't know if there's gonna be like a lot of people or if I'm gonna get sick or whatever.
Yeah.
But I go to the show, and it's like a house show slash party, and so like they had like catering pizzas. Like, they were catering pizzas, and they had a bounce house. It
What in the
was yeah,
fuck?
yeah. It was random.
Damn.
So
Okay.
like
Sick.
I feel so like out of place because I don't know anybody. I'm just there by myself. So I just sit outside awkwardly, and so this one of the guys from the band like comes out and like smoking a cigarette, and he's like, "Oh, just like you're new around here, this and that." I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "I came to shoot just one band that's on the bill," and he's like, "Oh, which one?" I was like, "Oh, they're called DTB," and he's like, "That's my band," and I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Well, I'm here to see you guys." He's like, "Why?"
That's sick.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Well, you guys are dope." He was like, "Cool." So me and this guy have been friends ever since.
Man, dude, that's so sick. I love that. And like that's part of the beauty, honestly, with like going to shows and just and meeting people and some of the conversations that start and some of the times going outside, maybe even just catching a breath and somebody comes up and they're like, hey, what'd you think of the last band? And it's like, oh dude, they fucking ruled. And it's like, oh, thank you. I play guitar. It's like, okay, sick. Like, I mean, you can't appreciate that anymore, and people being rad. That's funny that
Yeah,
he's like, why?
yeah, but yeah, like ever since that day, like I was following that band, and me and him became friends, and we would always have lunch and stuff. He moved, so I don't ever see him anymore.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, those those times and experiences. That's always something to kind of keep in memory, and that's a fun thing too. With photography, is being able to have like an actual like still of that moment, or of particular moments too. So where when you start, shooting shows, and you like, where's your eye at? What are kind of things that you're looking for versus maybe today and now, that you've been to many shows, you've been shooting, a ton of stuff. How does that kind of go from point A to now?
mm, I mean, I have like a ritual when I shoot shows. So
Okay.
like before a set even starts, like I shoot without my glasses on. Like I can't see anything at all until like I'm done with the show. Like
What?
yeah,
What?
yeah. Like everybody's like, why do you always shoot with your glasses off? I was like, so I don't so because I'm just literally just shooting until I get something good.
So I mean, A literal point of like shooting point
Y-
photos.
yeah, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, is this where like kind of that like tagline came from or like that title?
Uh, yeah, I didn't really come up with the name myself. Somebody else did.
Man, dude, that
Yeah,
is fucking
yeah. There
hilarious.
was this one time, like somebody was like, what do you know what you're shooting? Like, what are you looking for? I was like, I can't see
Right.
most of the time. And they're like, oh, so you're just good at taking pictures. I'm like, I guess if you think they're good.
I mean, what is your like vision like without your glasses on? Like, is this
I
like
can't
you're
see
not
anything.
seeing faces? What
Yeah.
the fuck? Wow, no shit, dude. That's insane. I mean, like, there's still like as far as like movement and seeing when somebody's
Yeah,
jumping and all that
yeah,
shit to
yeah, I
where
can catch that.
man, that is fucking hell. This is like man. I'm trying to think. Like some like Ninja Turtles type like ninja intuition type shit, man. Damn.
Yeah, it's. I remember one. Like I've had people like wave at me at shows. I'm like, I can't see. I don't know what you.
Oh my god. You're just picking up on voices or like how is this working where you're like, hey man, what's going on? It's like, I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck that was.
most of the time, or like sometimes like people will be like, oh, I saw you at a show, and I'm like, I don't know. I can't.
Oh
I can't see you.
my god. That is so funny. Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah,
Have you ever tried shooting with your glasses on? Like, is there
it
like
just
a
doesn't feel the same. I'm so used to shooting without my glasses on, off.
like where did that come from? When you were first starting, even that you always took your glasses off?
Now, the first time I broke my glasses at a show, and I didn't
Ah,
have insurance at the time,
ah,
and so I
mm-hmm.
was like, I'm tired of paying for glasses. So I started taking them off, and ever since then, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna start taking them off and start shooting just like blind.
God, that is fucking insane. Luckily, I've never had my glasses broken at a show, and the one glasses that I've had for absolute ever, some Ray-Bans that I had, they fell off. Like I was goofing around, they fell off, and they fell on a carpeted floor, mind you, and
Mhm.
busted in half. I'm like,
I
dude,
think
go ahead.
I think the first time I broke a pair of glasses was it was the first time I saw ozone.
Oh boy, okay.
Yeah, some kid bumped into me and my glasses fell, and then my friend jumped and stomped on him,
Oh,
and I was like,
oh
well,
my God.
I was like,
And that was like, there's no backups. Like you're
no,
just having to
I just
fucking.
had the one pair.
Oh, oh, dude, what a bummer.
Yeah, but
God.
I mean, now I'm prepared to have like extra pairs of glasses.
You're like I'm not using when I'm shooting, but
Yeah.
dude, that is fucking hilarious. Do you walk around the whole show without your glasses on? Like I know you mentioned like kind of people bumping into you, but is there certain points where you like pop them on and look back at like some of the
Oh
photos or
yeah,
whatnot in
yeah.
between? Or
After the set's done, and I'm just scrolling through the pictures to see. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. These came out. These.
man, that is so fucking funny, dude. It's like I think it's so insane to me thinking of like something like photography and having that eye, and then you're literally like, I'm not fucking using my eyes. Like that's so crazy to me, man.
Yeah.
So like nowadays, so you start, you have a Polaroid.
Hmm.
Does that like kind of graduate into different gear? Like how does that look like? What do you use today?
Oh man, I use a Canon T5 Rebel. Uh,
Okay,
only because I got it for free. Yeah,
really?
because yeah, well, it was laying around my mom's place, and so I was like, hey, if I find a charger for this camera that you don't use, can I keep it? And she was like, yeah, go ahead.
Damn,
Yeah, and
it fell right into it.
yeah, so it's just like the I use the default lens that came with it. There's no special equipment, no light diffuser or anything. Just I shoot raw, blind.
Literally.
Yeah.
Dude, I cannot get over that. I'm like trying to like, I'm trying to keep this moving and everything, but that is so fucking insane to me.
I know
Absolutely crazy.
everybody just is like, why do you not wear your glasses when you shoot? I'm like, it's not comfortable for me.
Man,
It's a ritual.
that,
I gotta take them off.
now you still pull out the Polaroid nowadays though, right?
Uh, no, only because it got too expensive. Like the prices went way up.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
I got rid of my Polaroid cameras.
Oh man. Oh, you don't
Yeah.
even have them anymore?
Now, the first camera I ever got, I sold to some random, and then the second Polaroid camera I bought, I gave it away for some tattoos.
Dude, I mean, hey, shit. That's the trade. I'm down with that,
Yeah,
man.
guy took the Polaroid camera. I got a sweet tattoo out of it. I was like, cool.
That's
As
sick.
long as he's
That's
happy,
awesome.
I'm happy.
Yeah, hell yeah. Do it. And so this camera that you're using nowadays that comes just from straight home, you found a charger evidently?
Yeah.
Damn, dude, that is so sick. Does anything go into not I don't want to say After Effects. I'm not a photographer, so I don't want to
Yeah.
say, but as far as like, posting or kind of getting, like, final resolution to it, do you do anything as far as editing afterward?
Oh, yeah. Like, uh, so my turnaround rate is, I mean, I always post after the sets and stuff.
Mm.
Uh, Everybody's always like, how are you doing that so quickly? Like, is your camera Bluetooth? I'm like, no, this camera's from like 2015. I was like, my equipment is not up to date. I bought an adapter off Amazon for my SD card to plug it into my phone. So I do all my editing on my phone.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So you end up having an SD card that's in the camera, and then that you just transfer into your phone, and that's where like all the editing kind of goes into it.
Yeah. I use like uh Adobe Lightroom.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so I have like settings already prefixed to make them black and white and everything.
Shit, dude. Yeah, that fucking rules, man. I love that. And I appreciate. I mean, out of like doing everything for these interviews, even obviously we're on phones right now. I do everything on my phone as well. Like people kind of ask about, like editing or like, what do you do on your computer and what do you do for flyers and all that. I do everything literally fucking here. It's all like
Yeah,
on Instagram, like photo and toss it all together. And, so it's like for flyers and shit even too. So, it's convenient, I mean, it
it
works.
is very convenient, especially when you're on the road.
Damn, dude. Now, have you gone on tour with bands then too?
Uh,
Or
I've
not yet?
done I've done only one tour and it was only a week.
Okay. All right.
Uh, that was really fun. It was with my friends in Grimoire. We
Oh,
hit up
okay.
California, Las Vegas, and Arizona, and then we did like a
Okay.
couple shows in Texas.
Man. How'd Vegas treat you?
Uh, it was okay. I was. I'm not gonna lie. It was okay.
Yeah. Okay. What? You didn't lose all your money?
Uh, no. Like people came out in support,
Yeah.
but it was only because there was another show going on.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Yeah. I've never been out there for like shows. Like I went out there like some years ago, and we went like like a couple of nightclubs, but there wasn't anything as far as shows wise or any like metal or anything like that. Like, yeah.
I think
Unfortunately,
my
but
favorite shows were California, only because we got to walk around Hollywood.
oh, okay. Okay. Where are the shows at there?
I think Riverside.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I want to say Santa Cruz. I forgot the other one, but Riverside was a good show. It was really
Mm,
packed.
sick. Who else was on that bill?
Like, the only other band that was on the run with us that I can remember was a band called Big Shot. They're
Oh,
from
okay.
they're from New York.
Okay. Man. Dude, that's sick. And like even just the experience of, being able to once again, like you kind of mentioned, like I'm not doing anything as far as playing or, like instrumentally, but still
Hmm.
having, like that part of it and still having, like that kind of essential moment and capture and everything. Like what a sick opportunity. Shit, be able to go and like travel some.
Yeah, I'm like really grateful for people reaching out,
Hmm.
or they're always like, "Oh, we got this coming up. You should come." And I'm like, "All right, let me ask my job, see if it's cool."
Damn. Is that tough as far as like time off and kind of like work and show relationship?
I mean, my managers at my jobs are pretty chill. Like, they know they're aware of what I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're always like, "Oh, what do you got going on next, or what's new, or
Okay.
well, what band used your photos for EP or whatever or T-shirt? I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm like, I don't know. You gotta pay. You gotta keep up.
Yeah.
So much going on.
I was gonna ask, as far as like obviously photography gets used for merch and records and all of that. Where do you remember that being like a first time where you see it? Was it a T-shirt? Was it a record? Excuse
Uh,
me.
First time it was a T-shirt. They used my Polaroid pictures, which weren't the highest quality. It was funny because they even asked me, they're like, "Can we get a higher resolution of these photos?" I'm like, "Brother,
Brother.
they're Polaroid." Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
That is funny. Holy shit. This is what you get, my man. This little fucking
Yeah,
thing here with majority of a white border. That's what we got
yeah,
going.
yeah.
Damn.
I mean,
I,
the T-shirt didn't turn out that bad. It looked pretty
I was
sick.
gonna ask, yeah, okay. So it still turned out sick though.
Yeah, it still came out dope.
I mean, and you look at like especially with hardcore merch and like as much as things are like blown out and like kind of like that harshness to it, like it's just gonna complement. It's not
Yeah.
gonna, it's not gonna look like shit or anything like that. So I didn't know if they used like the whole Polaroid, like it was like the frame and everything like that.
No,
Okay, all right.
they didn't use the white border. They just kept
The
the main,
image.
yeah, the main image.
Okay. What about record
Record. Oh, the first record. Uh,
or like a cool shot that you remember, being used?
hmm. I know I'm trying to figure out which band did it first.
Okay.
Because I know my friends and since my beloved, they use my Polaroid pictures on
Mm,
their. They had like a limited vinyl release,
okay.
and I never got one because I didn't know when they were dropping. Nobody told me anything. But
Shiesty
I did.
bastards.
Well, I wasn't really worried about it because they had them for a long time. I just missed out.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
was kind of my own fault.
Okay.
But
Brother, we had these things half a decade and you didn't jump
yeah,
on it. Shit,
yeah,
that
and I
ain't
didn't jump.
me.
It was only recent. It was only recent that I was hanging out with one of the members, and I was like, "Oh, you guys made vinyl records?" And like, dude, we had those for months, dude. I was like, "Oh, okay, then I missed out."
Man, oh man. Dude, I mean, like, what are, obviously you have like these trips and you have, things that are getting pressed into merch or, to records, but what have been kind of some highlights with this, maybe even a couple of moments, and this isn't something, where it's like a dick measuring contest of which band is whatever, but just as far as, like being excited and, having fun for this and maybe some moments where you're like, damn, like I just did that or I just got to do that or be a part of that.
Um, I think. Hmm. I don't know.
Or maybe you mentioned traveling.
Yeah,
That's another
yeah.
thing.
I really liked anything that anybody uses of my work on their shirts and stuff. I don't mind it. Like, I'm if they like it, I'm cool with
Yeah,
it.
sick.
Yeah,
Do you have any of the shirts that with your stuff on
yeah.
it?
They always give me one.
Dude, that's awesome. You wear them to work, and they're like, "Oh man,
I
wow!"
do not. I'm gonna be honest. I do not wear any of it.
Okay, all right, sick.
Everybody's like, oh, like why don't you wear the shirts that you're working on it? And I'm like, I don't want anybody asking like, oh, who's it? Like, what band is that? Or that picture's really cool. Like, who took it? And I'm like, I don't want to be like, oh, it was me. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, okay,
Uh,
sick. I mean, do you have cats at work that are bothering you for like promos and like, hey, we have a big event coming up. Is that like how does the real life, kind of meld into, like sometimes our experiences with this underground and music and shit?
oh, most of the time I don't try to like be.
Put it
Oh,
out there.
yeah. I think one time my manager at work was like telling these people like, oh, like he tours with bands and he does promo stuff, and I'm like, why? Stop telling everybody my business.
Oh, that is funny. I mean, and like the cool part about it though is like, being outside of that, it is interesting. I mean, it is like,
Yeah.
even me being a fan and, like I want to ask those things. So, you kind of understand where that comes from. But it's funny, when being in that kind of hot seat, you're like, oh, I really don't want to do
Yeah.
this right now. Like, please, let's just move on about the weather or something. You
Like
know, shit.
I had people find me at my job and they're like, "Oh, you're the shooting point guy." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, but no."
Can I get a picture with you with your glasses off,
I'm on my
dude?
glasses.
That's gonna be the move, man. You fucking put that shit out there. That is insane. God. So I mean, as far as we kind of like touch on the music of Texas and with so many sick bands and a lot of which I mean you've shot and been at shows and been a part of. I wanted to kind of break down a couple of these bands and maybe just mention a song that comes to mind that's a personal favorite to you and all of which are Texas acts.
Mm.
And first off, I wanted to ask about a band called It Is What It Is. This was an earlier post that you had on your page. Honestly, I'm not even familiar or aware of who that band is, but sounds rad.
Uh oh. I haven't listened to them in a fat minute.
Okay.
I usually just catch them live because they're really good performers live.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's that's the type of band I like to see live, but I don't think I've ever
Are
listened to them.
they still around?
Yeah, they still play here and there.
Okay.
I haven't. I think they played a show last month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dude. Love that. I mean, and still being around, still doing it, like shout out to them. Shit. What about, the doggies in Ozone are here hanging out, or at least they were, and thank you so much for so. I absolutely fucking love that band. But what comes to mind from that band? What's a banger for you?
The Shutting You Down EP, like the whole thing.
How do you choose?
How do I choose?
No, I'm saying like literally, how do you choose? Like that EP is
Yeah,
fucking
the like
radical.
there's like that's a no skip
Yeah,
EP.
dude. Love that. Love that. And I mean, like, I was going to ask too, because, as far as obviously knowing that they're Texas, but, looking at, all the work that you've had with that band, I was like, you guys have to be fucking doggies by now. Shit.
Yeah, we hang out sometimes
Yeah.
at show.
Yeah.
They always come to shows and they support everyone.
Hard. Love that. What about Omerta?
And I just found out about that band. My friend was
Fire.
telling me they used to be a hardcore band, like in like the early days when they were first coming out.
What are they doing now?
Uh, I have no clue. They're like on a K-pop record label.
What?
Yeah, that's what I said the same thing when my friend told me.
Holy shit. I only know them as like a heavy act.
Yeah, my friend was like, "Yeah, they're on a K-pop label. Like they wear suits and stuff." And I was like, "Oh," I was like,
What?
"Yeah."
Are we talking about the same band?
They're from Houston, I think.
Oh, man. I got to look this up. That's fucking insane.
My friend was doing his research. He might be right or wrong. I don't
Oh man! Holy shit! Okay, well, we'll come back to that. We'll edit this in. What about Future Shock? Are you up on that band?
Oh my God. I love that band so much. I'm glad they're coming back.
Dude, so sick. Do they have anything officially announced?
They're playing a couple shows this month, I think.
Oh, really?
Either this month or next month.
Okay.
They're playing with Zulu. I I might be wrong.
Whoa, that'll be hard. Damn.
Yeah, because when they were coming up, they were getting put on to a lot of good
Yeah,
shows,
right.
and then they just took a break.
Hey, sometimes I guess you gotta step away for a minute and kind of recollect on things. Recollect on things. We talked about Scourge. Obviously, how can you not? We're talking
Yeah.
Texas. We're talking heavy. What comes to mind with that band?
Oh,
Shit.
oh, man, they have so many songs, but I'm just gonna go with the one song that everybody knows, "Old Gods Return."
Dude. Sometimes like like I think back to like singles of bands, and I'd listen to them so much to where I got sick of
Mhm.
them, and then I go back and I listen again, and I'm like, that's why this song. I mean, this song
Yeah.
rules. Like that song rules, dude. It's like there's reasons sometimes that that's the last track that they play live, or that's the track that everybody goes the hardest because it's like it would have been cool to be in a room when you guys were fucking writing that and like where to start and where to end it.
Exactly. Like, I mean, the last time they played down here was the not so fun weekend that we had here in March.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was the only time I've seen Seth at shows, and I'm like, when are you gonna bring Scourge back to the DFW? And he's like, I don't know.
What a nice dude.
Yeah,
He always seems like so chill and so cool and collected with everything and
we call him a big rock star. He hates it.
oh, too cool. See you later.
Yeah.
No,
He-
no.
or
I've never got that from
I think one time we're like, oh, it's Mr. Moneybags, and he's like, I'm just like you.
him.
Yeah, I'm just like you guys.
I can see that. But like thinking of kind of where steps have taken that dude and to have Scourge, for
Mhm.
the years that like he's been in that band and then Fugitive to be a thing, which I mean like there could be certain days where I could say I love that band as much, if not more, than fucking Power Trip. And that's not a dig on Power Trip, but just Fugitive, dude, is so sick. I
Well, because
love that fucking band.
at a point in time, that's all we had.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess there's something to that, but just those releases that they had, oh, dude, that band is so sick. So I mean, shout out to to him and all the cool work that he's doing, with these acts. What about Creeping Death? Tell us about
Oh
this
man,
band.
I first time I saw that band. Oh man, I think I think it was a record release. I forgot for what record, but
Hmm.
I think the most I like listening to their demos a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like going back and listening to their first releases,
Okay.
and uh, compared to now, which I mean, their new stuff is dope, but you can't diss the classics.
Yeah, dude, they rip. I got to see them with. Are you familiar with Extinction AD?
No, I don't think I've heard of them.
They're out of New
Mm-hmm.
York. It was dudes from This Is Hell. I don't know if you remember
So,
that band or not. They're like a
mm-hmm.
Long Island act. They're around forever. They're like Trust Kill Records. Rad. If you haven't heard them,
I'll
dude,
probably
they like their
check
later
them out.
stuff is they fucking rule. Their later stuff was more like thrashy. Earlier stuff was kind of like hardcore. Oh, well, was hardcore. But the guitarist and drummer from that band ended up making Extinction AD, and that's kind of like their main act that they do now, and they rip. But I saw those two bands together, and that was kind of my
Introduction.
introduction mostly. I had heard Creeping Death, but it wasn't, to the fact of like full album cycles or any of that shit, following. And I saw them live. I'm like, whoa, dude, these guys rule. I love their drummer, obviously. Like
Lincoln.
Lincoln's such a fucking badass. That drum set that he's been pounding on lately, that fucking acrylic blue is
I'm just like, man.
so spicy, so good. Now we got some fun shit next with the band Discreet. What do
The,
what do you get into with that band?
I haven't heard that band in a minute. They're based out of Austin, right?
I know it's Texas. I can't remember exactly. I'd interviewed the vocalist, and
Okay, yeah,
what a
yeah.
fun time.
It was from Austin. Okay, I
Okay,
remember that interview. So I've seen they've played DFW I
okay,
think once, and then I've seen them randomly a couple times in Austin.
band rules.
It's a dope band. I don't know if they're still active anymore.
I don't know. I haven't really been seeing a whole lot from them. Like they had put out. Oh, oh God, this is something. Fuck, why can't I remember what it's called? Convulse put it out though, and that was like their last like record, and it was just like this is some weirdo ass hardcore punk shit. Like it's just trying to define and like kind of box that in as it's not a band you can quite do.
Hmm.
But I love that band. They're sick. What about Soledad?
Oh, Soledad, they're putting on for the Mexicans.
Hey, brother, dude, putting it out, absolutely ripping, and
Yeah,
I'm killing it, dude.
they've been doing a lot lately. Uh, my friend that drums for them, he's in so many
Oh,
other
really?
he's in so many other projects, which I'm like surprised that he's able to do new music with this. Like he has, I don't even know how many other bands.
Is
Uh,
Is this like his full time? Because they've been like touring and shit, right? They've been on the road.
he's done tours with a lot of bands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
How do people do it? You know what I'm saying? Like it's
that's
just like
that's how what I want to know.
wrapping your head around that and seeing just it's crazy. You know I have a certain point where I, I envy it. You
Hmm.
know, it's just like how in the fuck do you do like band after band? I've had certain shows that have come up and somebody's like 5 days out, like, hey, can you play drums for this set? You know, and will you be able to like learn everything? And we're not gonna be able to practice. And I'm like,
Be like, I need more than a
sure.
day.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I will see what I can, see what I can do. And I can pull it off, but whatever. But as far as like some people that just have like bands on bands that like go and do these different things and have different dynamics, you're just like, fuck, man, like
Especially
that's
being a
crazy.
drummer when you got to use your whole body.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's fun, and other times it's like, yeah, this is work.
Yeah.
What about Sanity Slip? This is a band that kind of, so to speak, slipped by me. I don't know if I'm even all that familiar with them.
Uh, I've
Does that
only
name
caught
ring?
I've only caught them like a handful of times. They're
Okay,
based out of San Antonio.
okay.
I I I don't know if they got any new music out.
I think this might have been a band I saw on your page that
Yeah,
you had shot, and so I'd asked about.
I shot them randomly once in Denver. I was in
No,
Colorado. Yeah,
okay.
I was on vacation and my friend wanted to go see him, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm down to go. I was like, I could see him back home, but I
Uh,
mean, I was like, I'll go along with you to go watch him.
yeah,
So
sick.
I ended up going, and they were like shocked that I was there, and I'm like, what are you doing here? I was like, I'm on vacation. My friend wanted to see you guys.
And here I am shooting again. Shit.
Yeah,
Sick. You
because
can't take the entertainment out of work sometimes, brother.
yeah, it's
It's
true.
funny. Damn. Now you being from Texas, Georgia, the South, how does that cold treat you? Is there are you having to go into like a
I
mental state with that?
I hate the cold so much.
Brother, we're in the
It,
middle of winter in Michigan right now, so it's just fucking part
it
of it.
it doesn't help that I work in a warehouse or I work on a loading dock where the doors are always open and
Oh,
it's like
okay.
cold wind blowing in my face.
In Texas?
Yeah.
How cold does it get?
I think right now it's like, or this morning it was like 24 degrees.
Really?
Yeah, it's supposed to ice, or apparently it's supposed to ice tomorrow.
I was gonna ask because you posted up something about like having some like Carhartt shit out. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it,
Really?
yeah, it's, it's starting to get bad down here.
Is it like? I mean, are you guys had like streets are shut down and like sirens are blowing and
Mm,
cars are flipping over and shit? Like, is
no, it's
snow a regular thing?
no, it's rare.
Okay, that's what I
I
was
think
thinking.
the last time we had snow, like actual, like a lot of snow, was 2020. Yeah,
Really? Damn, that's why. I mean, I guess I shouldn't act like completely surprised. I've never been there. I just think of that as like hot,
yeah.
like the
Summer
year round,
sucks.
like
It's always
yeah.
hot.
Yeah, yeah. Damn. Well, I wanted to when I went to Vegas. My wife and I were talking about the snow, and we had like a cab driver that was talking to us about like Michigan and different things, and he was saying this was like around 2015, and he
Mhm.
was saying that they had snow like the year prior, and it was barely like anything on the ground, and it was just like
Chaos.
all fucking alarms just like going, and just like cars, just insane. I was like, wow, dude, like that's fucking crazy. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just so weird to me.
When earlier when I mentioned that snowstorm in like 2020,
Uh,
uh, we had the power grid went out for like a whole week apparently. Yeah, like
damn.
nobody had heat. People were like dying and stuff, and I was like, what?
What?
Yeah, we had a couple casualties.
Damn. That is crazy. Holy shit.
Yeah, no one was prepared for the. No one is ever prepared for the cold because we don't expect snow.
Yeah. Damn. You said you've got ice coming? What do you mean? Like freezing rain or something?
Yeah, freezing rain.
Man. Shit, dude. Things are getting crazy. And I mean this in like not in a joking way at all, but like the insane shit with like California right now, like
Hmm.
it is pretty wild, as far as like even me coming up and thinking of like when I was like a kid in Michigan, when winter would be like snow up to my fucking head, and then like nowadays, like it's maybe like late December, like January, and that's really about it. And it's not anything like how it used to, add up. So that's kind of crazy. And then you talking about like the weather down there and just like how shit's kind of fucking changing for
Yeah,
Michigan, maybe a little better.
yeah. Well, my stepdad's from Michigan too, and when he came
Oh,
down
okay,
here and he experienced the snow, he was like, "This isn't nothing." It's like you guys are
dude.
overreacting.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I remember like pictures of like my like parents when they were coming up, and snow was like up to or like just above like the roof line.
Mhm.
Like just imagining that shit, it's just like, oh my god, how insane.
Jesus.
Anyway, bringing it back to Texas and that fucking heat, brother. You know what I'm saying? Tribal Gaze. What comes to mind with
Oh
this band?
man, I love that band. I wish they played more locally, but they uh they got management and stuff now. So
Yeah,
or
dude.
I've talked to some of them, and I'm always like,
Okay.
when are you guys gonna throw another show, or
Uh-huh.
when are you guys playing again? But I heard recently that they're playing. I think it's this month or next month. They're playing with the Regional Justice Center.
In Texas?
Yeah,
Whoa, damn, that'll be hard.
yeah, I'm excited for that.
And they got RJC's got Taylor on guitar now. That rascal, um, man, they're bringing some heat too. I think they're coming through tied
Oh,
down
they are.
this summer. It's like late May or June or something like that. But yeah, that's gonna be, dude. That'll be sick.
That split that they had recently, Tribal Gaze, that
Hmm.
those songs are
Was it
on
Dead
repeat.
Body?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the split with Dead Body. I had those songs on repeat.
Man, and the artwork, like that's I just
The
feel
drum work
like
on
that's
that.
one of those. Oh, dude. I mean, from both bands, you're
Yeah,
like, how do I choose? I when something like that comes out though, like I feel like that band comes to mind, like Xibalba comes to mind. You have the music that already rules, and then you get the artwork that you do, dude. Like or like that, that split that they did. And I'm just like, oh my god, man, what a perfect like just fucking hardcore sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Just
yeah.
like you have the product inside, then the packaging out. Thank you, Lord. Jesus Christ. What about Mammoth Grinder?
Okay, with that band, I my friends were opening up for them, and they're like, "Oh, well, it was like months before the show was announced. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna want to come with us to the show." And I'm like, "Oh, who's playing? Like Eternal my guess was Eternal Champion,
Mm,
and I was like, because their music is kind of like similar.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, you guys are playing with Eternal Champion. Of course I'll go. Then the show got announced, and I was like, oh, Mammoth Grinder. I've never heard of them.
Oh,
And they're
oh, dude.
and they're like, really? Everybody was shocked. They're like, really? I was like, yeah.
Hey, dude. And you went to the show?
Oh, I. It was amazing.
Man, that band is so fucking sick, dude.
I
It
had
just
no idea that what's his name, Chris Olsh.
yeah, yep,
I didn't know he was the vocalist.
yeah. Yeah, dude, it's that band is so heavy. That release that they just put out, I don't know if you've
uh,
you've heard that yet, but
yeah, after I saw them, I went and listened to everything that they had out.
dude, hard, hard, hard.
It's,
Yeah, I love that fucking band.
it's like every project he touches is like gold.
Yeah, well, and I'm just looking at like the list that I had too, and just thinking of also like these next couple. I think all
That
involve
he's
him,
in,
but
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say Vasca was the next one that I was like, oh yeah, I think that's Chris too.
Yeah, he plays drums in that.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I, I saw them at a bar called Double Wide because I knew nothing about that band
mm-hmm.
either, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, the drummer from Power Trip is in this band." I was like, "Oh really?" So I checked him out uh, on Spotify, and I was like, "Oh okay, now I'm excited for the show."
Totally, totally, dude. And I love kind of like the variety that that he has with his work too, as far as like Mammoth Grinder, like a straight, just heavier, almost like like that death sound, and then obviously Power Trip with thrash, and then Vasca is like a very
Punk.
punk influenced, like straight in your face, almost like anxiety,
Yeah.
like driven, like I listen to it sometimes, like on my way to work or something. I'm like, uh, I'll turn this on afterward,
So
like
much beer
I need to
was
settle down.
so much beer was thrown at that show.
Damn. At the band or just in
No, just
general?
in general.
Okay. Dear God.
Yeah.
We used to have a venue here in Michigan. It was in this in Muskegon
Mm.
called the Ice Pick, and it was very like it was like a notable, like smaller venue for punk bands, and like Gigi Allen came through
I was
there and
gonna
like
say
different
it
acts.
sounds familiar because
Yeah,
has anybody played there recently or
it's been closed. God, probably since maybe the late '90s.
late
Like there was two
'90s?
different iterations of like the building of where like the location was at, but it was always a spot that for whatever fucking reason, I don't know where it started, and this might be interesting to kind of scout out and kind of talk to a couple of people, but if people were into the bands, they would throw fucking cans at the stage. So like if you're doing a good job, like
Hmm.
you knew because like they were throwing fucking beer at you and shit, and it's just like
We gotta
I
bring
guess
that
just like
back.
yeah. I'm like, all right, it's like I didn't know I was coming to a fucking ICP show tonight and have fucking Fago thrown all over me. God damn it. Oh, dude. Well, let's wrap a power trip. You know what I'm saying? We've kind of come a long way with hardcore and with the beautiful things of Texas, and let's wrap there. What we got with power trip? What comes to mind?
Ooh, man, the whole Crossbreaker. I think that's my favorite track that they've had out because it was a sing along song.
Man,
At the end of every live performance you've seen, it was always the song they ended with.
yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, and like just quintessential stuff. I mean, it's cool to have a band like that, and obviously, I mean, like some of the other bands that we've mentioned, and all crazy enough, from Texas, but it's cool to have a band like Power Trip, and especially like in our age,
Mm.
and it's not just talking about like Slayers or Panteras or like any of these types of things, but like like that band's they're awesome. I mean, they're the reason, or they are what they are for, for a reason. Like seeing all the different countries that they've been to and all the traveling and that, now that they're continuing to do,
Yeah,
I mean, like picking up
yeah.
and having Seth on, like beautiful thing, man.
Man,
Beautiful thing.
I think if it wasn't for Power Trip, I wouldn't have found the music that I like now or the people that I've met.
Yeah. Yeah. Sick. I mean, I was gonna say, yeah, I guess, inside and out, even in like within the community and the music community and such too. So, um, it's a beautiful thing,
Yeah,
man. We're pretty fucking lucky every day to be able to have this opportunity, and it, even here, I appreciate the time and the stories and being able to find out more and share this with everybody, man. I love how you've gotten into everything and all the work that you've been doing, brother. You got to keep it up.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, this is we're gonna kind of wrap here. Marcus, dude, this has been awesome. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
this
it.
was fun.
I love finally getting to connect, and hopefully at some point we'll be able to hang out at a show and shoot the shit and not have beer thrown at us.
Hopefully, yeah.
All right, buddy. Anybody that tuned in a little bit late, I'll have this up on my YouTube probably in the next like couple like months here. Get it all edited and a little more visually aesthetic. But yeah, dude, like I say, I really appreciate your time and patience with
Uh,
getting this all set up, dude.
yeah, like I said, I don't know if it was me that reached out or it's been a long time.
It's been a while, brother. We've been back and forth, and we'll continue to do so, man. Let me
Mhm.
know about shows coming up and different things that you have going on. And in the meantime, brother, you take care. Enjoy
Hey,
the
you have a good
rest of
one.
your day. Take care, buddy.
Yeah, adios.
See ya.
He's a lo-fi horror guy. Yeah, he's kind of a guy, but he is so lo-fi a horror guy. Yeah. Lo-fi horror guy has been recorded in front of a live studio audience.